All right. Well, welcome back to the pod, you guys.
I was expecting you to say your name.
Oh, I'm Leah,
I'm Val.
and this is episode 6.
I think so, of Shelf Life.
Mhm.
Eventually, we're going to lose count. It's
Yeah.
probably pretty soon.
Yeah, we are.
honestly. I don't know.
How are you doing, Val?
This is like the most awkward start ever. I'm so sorry.
We could restart.
Ooh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Lock in. I'm doing just fine. I went home this weekend, which was really fun. I got to see my parents and then like all my parents' family, friends, and whatever. But they listen to the pod, which is cool. Or I think some of them have not listened
Okay.
to everything. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, I did see some new followers on the Instagram.
Okay. Oh yeah,
and
that was my mom.
yeah. But
I told her, I'm like, you gotta follow there. That's where all the content is.
Yes.
And she had
Well,
no
I
idea
love
that we
that.
had the Instagram and whatever. But
yeah,
yeah.
we appreciate your support, and I love that they follow
Yes.
us.
My mom was teasing us because she's like, every episode you guys start with, I haven't read this book in like 4 years, but I'm like, yeah,
Look,
girl,
this
don't
one's-
worry.
This one's fresh.
This one is it's
We-
so fresh.
Yes, we both read this book within the last week now.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think we'll be able to remember things better.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed. No promises, though.
How are you, Leah? How was your last week?
I'm doing good. I worked over the weekend. I haven't really done a whole lot else, to be honest. I've just been lounging by the pool and working out and doing my thing and just living life.
Living it up.
Yeah.
Living it up.
But I've been good. It's been good.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
So today we are filming at Pearl Street Books. We got our coffee at Jewel's Coffee this morning. I got a coconut caramel cold brew. I don't really drink cold brew that often, but it's actually not too bad.
Yeah.
I will give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay, good. And for those of you who are watching the YouTube and can see the video, yes, Leah did steal the glass.
I'm gonna return it,
She's
I
returning it.
promise. They just didn't open the door, so I couldn't walk through here.
We're bringing it back, don't worry.
Yeah.
I got a lemon berry refresher, and it's really yummy.
Yeah, it looks delicious. That's a
Yeah.
perfect summer drink.
Mm-hmm. I'm not like the biggest fan of like sucking up the berry chunks, but
Yeah. It's just part of it, I guess.
yep. Not really a fan of drinks I have to also eat, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 as well.
Okay.
Do I have any berry in my tea?
No. Nope, you're all good.
Thank you.
Okay.
So now we're going to get into our book. For this week, we read Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
So, Leah, do you want to hit us with a little synopsis?
Okay, so first of all, I fucking loved this book. I loved it so much. I literally texted Val before she even started it, and I was like, girl, you need to read this book now. I need to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, a synopsis. This girl named Kenna has been in prison for the last 5 years, and she has a daughter that she's never met before. She moves back to the town where she's from, whatever, and she's trying to reconnect with her daughter. I guess she was in prison because of an accident that happened with her boyfriend. I don't know if we're like saying... I don't want to spoil too much right away in the beginning,
Well,
but
I mean, so she is basically, her boyfriend dies and she's involved with how he dies. So she goes to jail because she pleads guilty for that.
and she also pled guilty before she knew she was pregnant too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was pregnant with his kid and gave birth while in prison, but obviously because of her sentence length, they didn't let her keep her child, and
Yep.
she lost parental rights. So she's trying to reconnect with her kid.
Yeah. And her late boyfriend's parents actually have taken like guardianship over her daughter. Her daughter is also named DM, right? That's how you say that?
I
And
think
that's
so.
just such a pretty name. I love
know.
it. But anyways, so they are like raising DM, and then she Oh, they also want nothing to do with her. Like, they do not want Kenna in their lives or Diem's life at all. So that makes it really hard on Kenna to reconnect with them and, like, try to figure this out. And she ends up meeting this guy who she, like, falls for. And then she finds out that it's actually her late boyfriend's best friend that she never actually met, like, while they were together. And things get a little tense because he finds out who she is too, 'cause she lied about her name to begin with. And I don't know, they just have a connection, and he can't really stay mad at her. And yeah.
He's also very involved in Diem's life.
Yes.
He's like by being, best friends with Scotty is the dead boyfriend, is the
Yes.
late boyfriend.
Yes, Scotty.
Yeah, so by being good friends with Scotty, he's a very big part of Diem's life, kind of like another father uncle figure
for
to
sure.
her.
Yeah.
So
He lives, like, literally right across the street from the parents. So he sees her, like, every single day. He's her t-ball coach, and he says multiple times throughout the book that he just loves Diem so much. And he protects her, and he wants the best for her. And yeah, so definitely a father figure in her life, which just makes this book even more interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's kind of the synopsis. What did you love so much about this book? Like Leah was so like literally texting me while reading it, texted me when she finished it. Like,
Well, okay, let me just look at my notes really quick. So I don't remember writing down a ton, but just want to make sure I don't forget anything. This was my synopsis that I wrote out. That's just like,
oh, she's like scrolling on this notes app. Oh my god. Leah wrote a whole book.
I did. No, I don't know. I just loved the details, or like the ways that the story was like webbed together almost. Like, there were so many smaller things that just came like full circle at the end of it, and I just loved that so much. Like, in the very beginning, before we even meet Ledger, that's the guy she falls in love with. Before we even meet him, like, she recalls the story of her and Scotty and how they were gonna go out with him, like how she was going to meet him, but we don't know his name right away. We just know that she was gonna meet him and that he canceled, so she never did. And then, like, she makes that connection as they're, like, kissing, whatever. So, like, that was something really small. I just love how much he loves her daughter, and it's just like she falls in love with the perfect man because he already loves her daughter and is such a big part of her life. And she's just very misunderstood. Like, nobody really wanted to hear her side of the story about what happened that night, and they don't let her actually talk about things. So everyone thinks that she's like this really bad person, but she just fucked up. It was a mistake. Things happen, and I loved that Ledger was like the only person to actually hear her out and like talk to her like a human being. And there was a small thing, like with Scotty, he had a phrase, what's that? It's a fucking pigeon, right? That's how it went. Or is that a fucking pigeon? And then at the very end of the book, when Ledger was talking with Scotty's dad, there's a pigeon that just ends up in the backyard. And I thought that was just such a cute way to like kind of memorialize Scotty in a way. And that was also like the first time his dad never actually like cried after talking about him. There was, I don't know, just all these like small things, but there was a lot of emotion throughout all the characters in this book. And I'm a really empathetic person, and when I'm reading or watching movies or anything, I'm like, I feel what people feel. So this was just a really good book for me to connect with the characters too.
Yeah, and you have a great point of like, this book does a good job of showing that there are so many different layers to grief and so many like nobody really sympathizes with Kenna because they all just blame her for his death basically and think that she's completely like unremorseful and just like forget that there's a whole nother side to the story and that
Yeah.
there's a lot more to it. And I even feel like that's like a good reminder to even to myself, because like I try to be an empathetic person, but I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie, like if people like do me wrong or do people wrong
Oh,
in
yeah.
my life, I tend to be pretty, I'm like
Yeah.
done. I'm done. So it's like it's just a good reminder that it's like there are so many levels to grief, and it was, I don't know, it was just such a heartbreaking book.
It was. It was.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I just loved how there wasn't really any like questions left unanswered. Like I said, everything pretty much came full circle. So I felt like the story was pretty much like complete at the end of it. Unlike some of the books that we've read recently where we're like there were so many things that were just like not necessary or not really
It was
talked
nice
about.
to not read a thriller.
Yeah, it was.
Not no hate to the thrillers, really, but like
It was a nice break.
yeah, it was kind of like a little bit of like a feel good book. So Leah sent me a picture of her crying at the end of it, so I was terrified. I was like, okay, who dies?
Yeah.
Who but it actually is, I mean, can I
it's-
spoil?
Yeah, it's just the perfect ending.
It is, yeah.
And that's
so throughout the book, Grace and Patrick, they're Scotty's parents, and they are the caretakers of Diem.
DM.
I'm gonna say it wrong.
I think it's a DM because it's Carpe Diem, right?
Diem, yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a really, really hard time, like, accepting Kenna, and Ledger ends up printing off a letter that Kenna wrote to Scotty, because she would like write him letters kind of just like about the life that they lived before, but also about current things happening in her life, just to kind of deal with their grief and stuff. So Ledger ends up like stealing a letter and printing it off and giving it to Grace and Patrick, and is like, please just read this. You'll see that she is remorseful. You'll see how much she loved your son. And then if you guys read this and you don't want anything to do with her, that's fine. I'll ask her to leave and you'll never have to see her again. But like, just give her a chance, because I've gotten to know her. And she's not the person that you think she is. She's not this terrible villain that you've made in your head. And so they do end up reading it. And Grace decides to go meet with Kenna, and she sees just how much she loved Scotty, and they decide to give her a chance, and they let Kenna into their life, and they let her meet Diem.
Yeah. Yeah.
They let her meet her kid.
Yes, and then, well, another like big thing throughout the book, because of this tension between Kenna and Patrick and Grace, they didn't know about Ledger and Kenna to begin with. Kenna, like, they were kind of keeping it on the down low, like it was secretive, and Ledger was very
I
scared.
don't know that we ever made this clear, but they were like in a relationship, sort of. Kenna
Yes,
and
yeah,
Ledger.
yeah.
They weren't initially, but then they kind of like catch feelings and fall in
Yes,
love. I don't
yeah.
remember that we.
I don't think we
I
did.
don't know.
No.
Anyway, sorry.
But so basically, like, they end up like getting together, but they know that they can't be public about that because of the whole like she's trying to meet her daughter situation, and they are kind of both on the same page with. They know that Patrick and Grace are going to end up making Ledger choose between either Kenna or Diem, and she wants Ledger to choose Diem if he ends up having to choose. So that's just heartbreaking too, because they literally like fell in love with each other, and you just want it to work out for both of them. But yeah, so at the very end, I was just so fucking happy that everything came together, and it was a fantastic ending. Yeah, I think
I want a Ledger in my life.
for real. My God.
Oh my gosh. He's just given like, it was like, I don't even know how to describe it. She was like, he's like rough around the edges, but he's soft on the inside. I'm like, where are these men?
See, the way that he just shows love to her was I don't even know how to
It
describe.
was so beautiful.
It was. It was. Before they were even really like in love with each other, I guess, he was still looking out for her, and he was
Yeah.
still giving her rides to and from work, and like he was the only one she really gave her phone number to after she got a phone. And I think anyways. But it was just they had such a special connection, and I loved it so much.
He was just like such a kind character.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Loved Ledger.
Yeah.
Great character.
Yeah.
I did, and here's where cynical little Valerie's gonna come in. I thought it was like a little. Every once in a while, I was like, "Oh, that's right. Ledger was Scotty's best friend,"
Mhm.
and I'm just like, I'm kind of just keep bringing myself back to that, and I'm like, there is something a little bit weird about dating the best friend after, but I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
it's been 5 years. Also, Kenna and Scotty only dated for 6 months.
Oh.
They only dated for 6 months.
I
which-
was trying to figure that out.
yeah, in the grand scheme of things, like a 6-month relationship is like
Not that.
not that
Yeah.
long, not that significant. She had never met Ledger before, so
Mhm.
like I was like, just move past it. It's not that weird. But there was a little part of me that was like, okay, it's like a little bit weird.
Yeah. No, it was. I can agree with that. I also thought about that a few times, but I try to forget about it.
I also loved Ledger's parents. Like they would just like pop in every once in
Yeah.
a while in the book, and they were just like they were so much fun. They had just like such a
Mhm.
weird, random, chaotic energy
They-
that just
they
kind
did.
of like I don't know. They were like kind of insignificant characters in the book, but I'm just like these parents are so fun. Like
Uh-huh.
this is so random. but
Yeah. Yeah. But they were kind of supportive of Ledger and basically whatever choice he made.
Mhm.
His mom figured out like who Kenna was right away,
Mhm.
and she knew what was going on, but she kept her mouth shut and she didn't say anything. And I also really just appreciated them adding, or the author, Colleen Hoover. I appreciate her for adding those characters in because they weren't really that significant, but it was still like they played a few roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one other cynical thing that I just remembered that I'm not on board with. This one I'm really not on board with. Very end of the book, it's like the epilogue. It's basically 2 years later, Kenna and Ledger are, like together still. DM still lives with Grace and Patrick, whatever,
Yeah.
but like they're all kind of like they have dinner tonight
Mhm.
they have dinner every night together and whatever. But Kenna ends the little epilogue by saying that she had just given birth to a son and named it Scotty.
Yes.
And I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yep.
I obviously, like, I have never lost somebody like that close in my life to
Mhm.
kind of understand how that is, but I'm like, I'm having a hard time getting on board with this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if it feels like, I know it's just kind of like to memorialize him and
Mhm.
whatever, but I'm also just like, oh, the son of you and your dead boyfriend's best friend. And you,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I also, for a brief minute, contemplated why they would choose that too.
I shut the book really, really fast.
Yeah.
I saw, it was like, something about taking names very seriously and then naming her newborn son,
Yeah,
and
like,
I
this
like
was the most-
split second saw Scotty, and I'm like,
Yep. Yep.
throw the book.
Yeah. No, I didn't really like that either.
No.
It feels weird. It does. But there was one thing that I forgot to mention. Another thing that Ledger had said. He said to Scotty at the very end, and I don't think this must have been before the epilogue, but he said, "Don't worry, Scotty, I'll take care of your girls." And it fucking made me sob even harder, okay? I'm already crying because I'm so happy this ended this way. And then he says that, and I'm like, oh my god.
I actually shut the book then too because I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah,
Yeah.
that killed me. I have goosebumps. Like, oh, that was so sad.
It was just,
It's
God, it hit me in the
so
heart.
sweet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly though, it was a good book.
It was.
Do you have anything you want to add? Any final thoughts?
I think everybody should read this book.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Read this book. This is literally probably one of my favorites now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I read this in like just a little over 24 hours. Like, I couldn't put it down. I was
Mhm.
just hooked
I
for
was
some
the
reason.
same way. I read it in probably 48.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So clearly, we like it.
we did.
Mhm.
We did.
On that note, what would you rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm giving it a 5.
She's going to 5. I knew she was giving it a 5.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I already gave it a 5 on my Goodreads. So yeah, those very few little things that we talked about being a little weird. I don't know.
They're really
The good
insignificant.
overweighed the
I'm
small
just way
things.
too critical of things.
But yeah, this is a very good book. And I'm really glad we read this one.
I really
Mhm.
like this one too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like once again, like there's the whole Colleen Hoover controversy and whatever. I like don't feel like this book falls into a lot of that.
No.
Like,
I wouldn't.
is that why there are birds on the cover? Fucking pigeons.
That would make sense. Yeah, it looks like pigeons.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mhm.
Sorry, that was random.
No, I wouldn't have made that connection if you wouldn't have said that. That
But
makes sense.
yeah, I don't know. This was good. It didn't feel like a Colleen Hoover book.
No.
Okay, I've only read Verity, so like I really can't say what feels like a Colleen Hoover book.
Yeah.
I don't have a right to say that, but like I do feel like Verity, like I just was not a fan of the writing style. Like I
Mhm.
didn't feel like it was. I just had I had a hard time with it. Like I thought the storyline was really fun.
Yeah.
And like the plot twists and whatever was like it was interesting, but I did not think that the writing was like phenomenal. I don't think that this writing was like earth shattering,
Yeah.
but it did feel
Yeah.
like better than Verity. Like I would not have guessed that they were the same author.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mhm.
It felt different.
Yes, it did. One thing that I do want to note, I can't remember how Verity was like structured in terms of like plot and whatever, but this one was very linear. And I really enjoyed how like every other chapter was either in the perspective of Ledger or Kenna. Like
Mhm.
it took turns and it stayed consistent with that, and it wasn't jumping around too much. Like they had a few flashbacks to like when Scotty was alive, but it was always either with Kenna like writing to him or just very small things. So it was very easy to follow along with, and it didn't overwhelm me with anything. So that was a plus, and I really liked that part of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like and they're making this one a movie too, and I'm so
Are they?
I thought that's what we said.
Oh,
Hold on, let me do a little research.
I don't remember. I know they're doing Verity's movie and the other one, It Ends With Us.
Yeah, Reminders of Him is a film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel. Blah blah blah. The film is set to be released on February 6th, 2026.
Okay, so it is going to be turned into a movie.
Mhm.
February 6th, 2026.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's correct. February 6th, 2026. Mhm.
Okay, don't
So I'm
fact check us.
Yeah, please don't.
We're right.
Yeah. Battery is almost exhausted, so we better wrap this up.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode. This has been just a great one. And next week, what do we have?
Next week we are reading We All Looked Up. I don't know the author, but we will know next week.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Alrighty.
definitely stay tuned. Thank you so much for
Yes,
listening.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe. We love you.
We love you so much.
Bye.
Bye.